Test.
Okay, Jerry, you stand down.
Don't screw it up. This is an important job right here.
Testing. Okay. Test.
You have the portable one.
Talk here. All right, listen. We're gonna get started now. Thank you for coming. This session is anytime, any place, anywhere. Take charge of your own PD, meaning professional development. Okay, when you walked in, we had you go around and find commonalities with other participants in this workshop. The reason we did that because this is what professional development is all about. I find the best PD here, and other sessions are great, is sitting and talking to others, meeting them in hallways, meeting them at meals and other areas. And the discussions we've had are great educational and technology discussions. I've had discussions in a bloggers cafe, an exhibit hall, people stop me at meals, and it's wonderful. Now, 1,021 days ago, anyone know how long ago that was? Years? 1,021. You gotta do cross-curricular whenever you teach, you know. Yes, sir? 4 years? No, that's too many.
3.
Almost 3 years ago, on September 13th, 2012, this group right here, along with Paula, who you saw, started connecting on a Google Hangout. We met on Sunday nights, and we still do, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We represented 7 different states. We got together, we worked on Google documents at the same time. And it was funny with all these people working on the same document, we're talking at the same time, and all of a sudden something disappears. I said, okay, well, where'd you hide that? Where'd you put it and whatnot? This is what we should be doing in the classroom too. Think about it. All right, this presentation and our connecting epitomizes, Billy, change the slide, the 5th ISTE standard for teachers, engaging in professional growth and leadership. This is how we tie it in. This is what we should be doing as educators. You gotta go by the ISTE standards. Okay, I will now proudly introduce my Twitter immediate family, because we have become a family. This is the first time we've all been together, minus, unfortunately, Paula, who was not able to attend the session.
Virtually,
whatever. Okay, we have Nancy Carroll from Massachusetts. She loves chowder.
Love chowder.
We have Jessica Bamberger, soon to be Jessica Stiers. We want to congratulate her on July 18th. She's going to be married. I hope she streams her wedding for all of us to see. We want to see her hair done. We want to see her wedding dress. We have Kim Powell, the lovely Kim Powell, who changed her handle and drove me crazy. She's from Michigan. She rocks. Kim Powell, you right, tell them what you are. You tell them that. Okay, we have Dan Curcio, who's known as Dan Science Man. He's awesome. He's from Jersey. We have Billy Krakower, the Sat Chat moderator, among other things, from New Jersey, too. And of course, we send hugs and kisses to Paula, who we miss. Now, please don't wait for professional development. Oh, Jennifer. I don't know, I'm in trouble now in the Hoosier State. Jennifer Regruth from Indiana, the lovely Jennifer Regruth. Head minion, thank you, from the great state of Indiana. Please don't wait for PD to come to you, professional development. There's so much out there today. You're going to find out ways you can get your own professional development 24/7, all day long, all night. Now, each member of this panel will now show you their PD tools.
Why don't you stand up at the podium?
I'll go first.
Would you want me to?
Whatever's more comfortable for you.
I don't care.
You want somebody else want to go first?
Nope, no.
I'll go first. I don't care.
Okay, good.
Because I'm going by the order of the slides.
Okay.
Unless you guys really want to keep moving. I'm Billy. For those of you who don't know, a lot of my PD, I attend conferences, unconferences. My favorite conference is ISTE. This is my 3rd conference at ISTE. I sometimes, they're all sitting here like, oh, when are we going to hang out? I go, We could walk between sessions or between the expo hall to hang out because literally my schedule and I know other people's schedules get so packed, there's so much to do. My favorite part though of ISTE is not actually attending sessions, it's going to the poster sessions. If you've not checked out the poster sessions, I would encourage you to do that. There's about 40 different tables. Students are presenting. You learn more from the students than any adult can ever tell you, and they're the most honest with you. Other conferences, Future Ready, for those of you who don't know, it's free for your school district to attend online. I don't know how much it costs to attend the actual sessions, but it's great if your school's looking to enhance technology. It's free and it's great. The best free conferences that are out there are ed camps. Has anyone here attended an ed camp? For those of you who don't know, ed camps are free. They're unconferenced. It's the rule of 2 feet. If you don't like what I say, you can just get up and walk out and go to a different session. There's actually, and I'm going to promote this one little quick thing. 5:15 today, there's the Birds of a Feather taking place, I think, by the Bloggers Cafe. I hope, because that's what I have on my schedule to go to after this one. Birds of a Feather ed camp, so if you ever participated and want to go talk to other people who are from other ed camps, they're going to be having a session at 5:15 today. There's also, for those of you who are any administrators in here, or there are no ed camp leadership. There are 15 different ed camp leaderships going on across the country. If you Google ed camp leadership or look at the hashtag EdCampLDR, you'll be able to see where they're located. For anyone in New Jersey, there's 2 going on in New Jersey, one in North, one in South, and there's one in Philly going on where the original one started.
Okay, I'm Jen down here. I'm going to do Twitter and Twitter chats, and I'm going to start with a question. How many of you already have a Twitter account?
Yes. Awesome.
Okay, awesome.
We
Here's
should have taken a picture of that.
How many people?
Ready? How many of you? Who's got the camera?
Get a picture.
Wait. No, we got to do the countdown.
Really?
Yeah, really.
What? For all of us, for them to get their cameras ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
There you go.
That's awesome, awesome.
Okay, and how many of you participated in a Twitter chat? Okay, awesome. So this is not a beginner group, so I'll kind of... Oh, raise your hand for beginner. Raise your hand for beginner. Okay, good. Well, I'll cover you all. And lurking is okay. If you've just lurked on Twitter and not participated, that's okay too, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I just want to start really quick with a story. In October of 2011, I joined Twitter. I think it was more for our sports team in our from our local high school. And then I started finding things, and I just got deeper and deeper and deeper, which was great. Not long after I got on, I connected with Nancy Carroll because I think I found Fourth Chat and started talking with her and with Paula, and they were just so warm and so welcoming. I'm like, well, I'm doing all right, so I do a little more, and they eventually asked me to co-moderate Fourth Chat, which is great, and we all have a ball. We've been friends for a long time, but we didn't meet in person for several years. We went to ISTE in Atlanta. It was the first time that we met in person. So we had done the Google Hangouts like Jerry was talking about, and talked on Twitter a lot and even on cell phones, but I hadn't seen her in person, so we met at the airport. So she comes down to my gate, and she's like, Jen, you're so tall. And I'm like, Nancy, you're so short. Well, we were there last year. We got to meet Paula in person and Jerry in person, and Billy was there. But this ISTE was the first time that I had met Jess and Kim and Dan in person. So imagine chatting with people on Sunday night for an hour, talk about family, talk about education, talk about what's right at your school, what's wrong with your school, just to, kind of talk to people. But I didn't meet them until now. So I love the fact that Twitter just brings everybody together. And if you just put it out there, someone's going to respond, and then you just build that relationship. So I think Twitter, hands down, is the best PD that you can get easily anytime you want to. So having said that, you have that opportunity for PD anytime you need it, while drinking your coffee in your pajamas or on your couch with a beer or whatever you're going to do. You have that chance to do that. For beginners, the first and most important thing I will say, when you get a Twitter account, change the little egg symbol to a picture. It's this thing that's going to help you most. Because if you stay an egg, they say, okay, either you're anonymous and you don't want to be known, or you don't know enough to change your picture from an egg. So that's my advice to you, beginners.
So hatch the egg.
Hatch the egg. Perfect.
Somebody tweet that out.
And if you know me, I have a page for Twitter for newbies. I have a page for Twitter chats, and everything's there. Just follow cyberryman.com.
And if you're really new to Twitter, Tweet Me. Great app to download and learn.
Tweet Me is a great app for my good friend Susan Bearden. We just did a Twitter 101 workshop, by the way, together.
Okay. I had you farther down, but it's good you went now. That's good.
That was Jerry's fault.
When I was talking about lurking, like some people will visit other chats or just check in and you're just seeing what other people say to each other. That's okay too. Maybe you just want to read it. And a lot of chats will archive it that you can go back and read it even after their chat is finished. If you don't have an account yet and you want to try to create one, it's pretty easy. And you can find a friend or a tech-savvy teenager will be able to help you in like 30 seconds. So those are all choices. So has anybody seen the sketch with Justin Timberlake and Jimmy Fallon when they're all talking to hashtags?
Oh, yeah.
Drives people crazy. So most of the people in here know what hashtag is, but if you don't, it's a way of organizing all the information into streams. And when I try to tell somebody like back home what it means, try to think of like a bunch of different colored Post-it notes all over your desk, and it's just a mess and they're everywhere. But if you could organize all the orange ones, all the yellow ones, all the blue ones, and you could have them in order, that's kind of what a stream, that's kind of what the hashtag does. So it's used to group topics together. So the hashtag symbol you use before your relevant keyword with no spaces. So I'm going to talk to you about that. The search bar at the top, I put the fourth chat one there. At the top of the Twitter where there's a search bar, you can put a hashtag and a relevant word there and it will find you the whole stream. So if you like knitting, hashtag knitting. If you like hashtag jets,
Jets.
hashtag jets. But it'll anybody who's tweeted with that in it. And to stay in that stream when you're on a chat, you need to include the hashtag in that chat name every time you tweet, or it might get left out. Okay, searching on Twitter is a great idea with hashtags up at the top. And there's a list of Twitter chats several places. You can just Google educational Twitter chats if you wanted to. Jerry has his page. That's also good. cyberryman.com. Write it down. If you haven't followed Jerry yet, you should follow Jerry because he's got a page for everything.
Need a Jets page.
He's not answering. Okay, so the format during a chat, if you don't know, there'll be a moderator and they'll put Q1 and a semicolon and then ask their question. So if you want to, and then they'll have the hashtag in it. If you want to respond to that, you put A1, a semicolon, then you put your answer and you include hashtag and then the chat name. Does everybody understand how that goes? Oh, yeah, the moderator will send out a question. Like we had Q1.
Jen, I have a how to chat page. Go to my how to chat page to explain that.
But I want to tell them right now.
Go right ahead.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Q.
I love Jen.
Okay. The moderator will put a first question out. We'll say Q1, question 1, and then they'll ask the question. And then sometimes people will get on late, or they'll, get late on the chat, and you can answer any question you want later. So you go back to question 1. Oh, I have a great answer. You can still put A1, and people know what question you're talking about, and that's how you do a chat. So if you're going to participate, you can answer. You can also just ask somebody questions. If Erin posted an answer, and then I had a question about it, I might just send a tweet to her about that. Hashtag NT2T is new teachers to Twitter. So if you are brand new to that, it's on Saturday mornings. It's a great chat to take place in because it's all new people just trying to feel their way out. So it's hashtag NT and then the number 2 and then T. So if you want to get on that. I get on that on Saturday mornings sometimes because I feel like when I started out, there were people that helped me. Like Nancy reached out and Fourth Chat people are so great. And so when I go on a new teacher, sometimes I learn things though because those people are sharp. But sometimes when they're asking, I don't know how to do this or where can I find that, I feel like paying that back a little bit is a good idea because someone helped me. Before October 2011, I was a beginner. I didn't know what I was doing. So I like helping out too if I know something or I can learn from new people. Those people are sharp. I love that. So you can Google educational chats on Twitter. On Google. That's the easiest way. 2 more minutes. Jerry has a page. One thing I would suggest too, if you're in the chats already for your building or your district, you can come up with your own hashtag and then have your own chats. So if you pick a time that you want to do that, you can register on a place called Twebs. You'll see it all at the end. We have a slide at the end. You can register a hashtag there so no one else will use it if you want to. That'd be a great way in your district if they're trying to move forward with some initiative or rolling something out. If your district is forward thinking like that, it'd be great to start a hashtag for them. So we're going to allow questions at the end. That was the basic part, and that's why Twitter is near and dear to me, because that's how I found all these lovely people and a bunch of people out there. So that's Twitter.
I can't have the slide up, so I gotta put Paul up here.
Okay, want me to get up
You ready?
Paul, you ready?
All right. Give it. Hold on. Hold on.
She's wearing her hat. She wears
I know you're trying to do a lot of things. Okay, can you see my slide?
We can't see your slide and you at the same
We
time.
only get to see you, Paula.
Oh, all right. Well, I know I'm sorry. Talk about what's going on for the time. All right. One of the things we're involved in is Classroom 2.0 Live. It happens every day at 11 o'clock in my time zone, Central, and can't join it live. They archive
It's Classroom 2.0 she's talking about. It's on my webinars page.
You can find all this wonderful 1 hour long sessions from Classroom Live. I have been doing it since 2009. I have learned Modo, Skype, Skype call, Google Hangouts, all sorts of like we use with fourth graders, kidblog.org. I've learned about best practices. I've learned something these online. Hey, George, post is at Ford on Twitter, inviting to become part of the Teacher Advisory Panel fast food. So I am helping go out and to come on to our and tell us what wonderful things they're doing, what a wonderful product, what a wonderful app. All right, moving on. edweb.net. If you have not heard about it,
edweb.net.
you need to get edweb.net.
edweb.net.
You need to join lots of their community,
It's free.
find their cat, subscribe to it, and they receive emails about web and all.
Yeah, I get an email from them and it announces all the free EdWebNet webinars.
There are many in the web community. Join the ones that are speak to you. I know they have one citizenship, digital tools, they have one on bullying, they have all sorts of different, when they are webinars.
Paula, can you get a little louder, closer to your computer?
any better?
Seriously, go on my website, cyberman.com, look up webinars, and I have them listed there. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
I'm trying to figure out where my speakers are on this thing.
The first one she did was Classroom 2.0, then she went into edweb.net.
Is that any better, Bill?
Yes.
Okay, I just put a headset on. All right, so then the next that I want to talk about, besides the two I've already mentioned, is Simple K-12. Now, Simple K-12 is a subscription community, but they offer lots of free days of training. And if you follow them on Twitter, you'll
Simple
learn 3 days
K-12.
of PDR. They're usually on a Saturday, and they cover a host of topics from everything Google to how to use Skype in a classroom, how to get your kid blogging, things like that. If you attended Ed Camp, usually one of the prizes that is given away at Ed Camps are year-long memberships to the K-12. It is a great way to go. You, again, do PD anywhere, anytime. They do have a free section, but like I said, it is a subscription-based one, so, but they have both, so check it out. All right, the other thing, I'm also a presenter for them. One of the perks of being asked to present for them is that you get your membership free. So that's a nice little perk. Another thing that you can do, I don't know where somebody put my slide, Billy, it disappeared. But anyhow, another thing you can do is BAM Radio. Again, there are lots of different parts of BAM Radio Network. I'm
It's
sorry,
called BAM
BAM Radio
Radio.
Network. You would join the
They
different
sponsor the
parts of
BAM
it,
Awards.
and you would see which ones speak to you the most. Another thing that you can do is join Jeff Bradbury, who was one of our original Google Hangout members, on his TeacherCast podcast. There are also lots of other teachers who are hosting their own weekly, bi-monthly, monthly podcast where they bring on ed tech people, lead learners, authors of books about different educational things on their podcast that can be anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour. So if you Google that, you will find it. All right, I am going to stop and we'll turn it over to the next person.
Okay, before she stops, this summer in July, Simple K-12 has free summer webinars. I'll give you an example. Time-saving tools and tips. How Google made my life easy. This is a good one, the next one. 7 ways teachers can earn extra income. Formative assessment in the classroom. Mobile apps showcase. Digital storytelling. Tips and tools for administrators over there in the administration section. And Microsoft Office. Free this summer on July.
Where was that?
Simple K-12. Simple. Other ones with the bunny circles. Ever see them running around with bunny
Tell
circles?
Jerry, hashtag at K-12.
Hashtag what?
Simple K-12.
SK-12.
You can always Google them.
K-12.
SK-12.
Good job, Paula.
Thank you, Paula.
That's me. Hello there, my name is Dan Curcio. I am a special educator. We're all very special educators. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. But I teach at a special needs school. Specifically, I'm the science guy over there. And I guess I've been trying to forage my own PD as soon as I started. I studied special education and then got into this school, and they said, our science teacher quit, so we need one. And I said, I hate science, so I don't want to do it. But they twisted my arm, and basically I went for it. And then, you know, things have been pretty cool. I'm Dan the science man over there, and the kids get a kick out of the things that we do. So I've always been trying to search on my own to kind of figure out, you know, my professional development. One of the things that I find the best, obviously, is what we're seeing today is the communication and the connection, the human experience, for us to go face to face and to be able to communicate and find our commonalities. When I met everyone here, I was sort of the odd person out because I was just the science person. Wasn't teaching 4th grade, which everybody else was. But I could learn so much from these folks and about what they were applying in their classroom, and, you know, basically in our conversations, you know, some of the things I could bring back to my classroom and about science and in the realm of just professional development. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Edmodo, edmodo.com. It's free, which is very important in my search for professional development, is the word free, because I'm broke like a joke. But there's nothing we can do about that. So anyway, Edmodo, unfortunately, our school uses Edmodo school-wide. It's a way, it's a learning management system, a way, if you're not familiar, to collaborate with your students, share content, homework, flip your class. There's so many things you can do just with your students. So what I thought was even better, once I got familiar with just learning and working with my students and sharing with them, was the ability to find other professionals in this network. So Edmodo is, I guess they said, I'm not a spokesperson for Edmodo, I just use it, I like it. But set up sort of like a Facebook type of social media with your feed. I think the next slide has just kind of a look of that's me taking my PD anywhere. Okay, you got a little laptop, or Edmodo has an app. So once I had my students join, and that's fine, then I went around looking for, actually in that left corner, there's like support groups and content groups like science, which obviously I look for. There's computer technology. So you join that group along with every other member that also joined. It's like 800, or it's 8,000. I mean, there's tons of other teachers in there. And then in that feed, they post questions, other professionals. You know, I'm working with, you know, whatever it is. Up there, I actually joined a group. I'll tell you in a second how I found these groups, but that's Minecraft EDU. I started using Minecraft in my classroom for a while, and I wanted to know more and connect more, and someone created a group, one of the teachers, about Minecraft EDU. So we're all in that, we're all members. So if you have a question about it, you have an idea, people share. You can embed video, you can embed, upload your files. So there's a lot of sharing that happens. I've learned so much in some of the, you know, ideas that other professionals have been doing in that realm. So the communities were already set up in Edmodo that you can go find people and find common interests, whatever it is. Then they actually have, and it's a link that goes around, we have a site, a Google site that we'll share at the end. And I posted the link specifically to it. It's teacher-created groups. So you could create one, I could create one, and there are so many. They're in alphabetical order, almost on any topic or any trend that's happening right now. And it runs the gamut. It goes to administrator, I mean, anything you could think of. So basically you go to that link, you search for that group. That I'm really interested in STEAM and maker movement right now. How can I apply that to my class right now? So I'm trying to curate anything that I can about STEAM and maker movement. And what better place to have this little community that Edmodo set up? It's already there, so I just click on the link, and it's a join URL. So the person who set up that group then accepts me. I hope they accept me. They find out who I am, maybe they won't. But you enter the group, and so you're in there, and people right away just start, they just start posting questions. I right away start posting, I just bought a makey. What are you guys doing with your makey? And, etc. So it's been a really nice way to, I have 1 minute, count it down. So we're doing very well. That was very subtle, by the way. I just lost 30 seconds. Anyway, the one other thing that you'll see with Edmodo in basically having this community digitally, you can go to great conferences and run into these people. And for me, it's been really special to make face-to-face professional development or human development with everybody, because everyone here can teach each other so much. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Don't worry, I have an Edmodo page on my site with Edmodo mavens like these great people here.
So I'm going to talk about Google Plus communities and Google Hangout. So as you can see, this is our weekly hangout that we have, which is really exciting. And like Jerry said, we started a few years ago, yes. And Jessica was actually in the car with the Google Hangout when we were doing this. So literally, you can do this anytime, anywhere, any place, right?
I wasn't driving. I'm out on my patio. I went outside. I was on my patio.
Really jumping forward. The slide. The slide. So with Google Hangouts, it's been really exciting for me because I started out when I met everybody as a 4th grade teacher, but now I'm an ed tech coordinator in our district, which means that I work with over 200 teachers to provide PD in my district. So I have a big job and limited amount of time since there's one of me and so many of them that I have to find the best way to communicate things with them. And I have found with my lack of limited time that I've used Google Plus Communities to find those PD sessions for me, and in turn I'm going to tell you how we use them in our district. So right here, this is an Ed Canvas that has some ideas on how you can get started with Google Hangouts, because as we mentioned, Google Hangouts is a great place to have conversation. In our state, where we have a lot of ed tech coordinators, that we don't have the chance to go drive to see them because we're busy in our school districts. So we use Google Hangouts in order to learn from one another. So if we find out one district is rolling out iPads or Chromebooks, then we can have that conversation and talk about lessons learned and have our own PD moment face-to-face or in video conference.
I keep doing that. I keep want to change it on my computer that I'm looking at with Paula.
Sorry. This is also how my friends here have also used Google Communities, is that we have advertised certain things like Read Across America, and they have participated in that in a Google Hangout as well. And Jerry read a story to many classrooms to share that. So we're promoting programs by talking about what's the best things that we could do, and then sharing that in turn with our students. So the PD is not only starts with our teachers, but it also goes out to the students as well, and a great learning opportunity promotes itself. Sorry, the last slides.
That's okay.
Okay.
Paula's typing to be as we're all presenting.
So this brings me back to art. So I see all these things, and it was really exciting. So as one teacher, one ed tech coordinator in my district, I wanted to connect with all of the coordinators in our state. So we decided to create a Google Plus community that will allow us to get professional development among each other, because we can't drive throughout the state of Michigan to have those conversations in person. And one of the things about Twitter, as you know, is you have 140 characters, and a lot of things take longer than 140 characters. Or I don't know about you, but sometimes you want to go home at night and you want to find particular information and learn a little bit more, and Google Hangouts allows us to do that, or Google Communities. So our ed tech community for our Michigan group shares different hangouts that we're going to do where we can get together and talk about a particular topic. So whether it be about deploying one-to-one in your district, about digital writing, that we have a commonality that we can go there, have those conversations, and those people that aren't there can go back and listen to them as well, which is really nice. So we took this idea in our district and talked about Right now, I'm going to 3 elementary buildings and a middle school and a high school to share certain PD opportunities. And as you know, one time you hear something is never enough, right? Especially if you only do it 4 times a year. For example, we have certain, assessments that we do that we have to go and share that information. And you don't think about it until that time. So we wanted to make best use of our time. So instead of going to those buildings, going to 5 buildings every quarter, what we decided to do is we're using a community and we're going to put those video tutorials inside of there for them to share at their convenience. Because what they might need now is something that they might need later as well, and to go back and listen to it again and again. So this allows principals to share, teachers to share, and giving those tips and tricks. And the great thing is to provide those screencasts and tutorials so that you have that PD access anytime, anywhere. Because that's the time when we have time to learn. As teachers, we're in our classrooms, we're busy, we're teaching kids. So we need it when we need it, right? And we have that 5 minutes, so we want to have an opportunity to do that. And a Google Community allows us to do that. If you're looking for Google Communities for you to join to kind of see what that looks like, what I would recommend, is there another slide or no?
I believe, no.
No, okay. Is Connected Classrooms, has a lot of great projects in there. They have projects and they have webinars, so they will advertise them a lot. There's 2 Connected Classrooms Google Communities. Both of them are really great. I would highly recommend those. There's also Technology and Education. That's a really big group that has a lot of different learning opportunities that you can do in your own time. But I would recommend checking those out and see how you can learn on your own anytime and how you can bring that into your district so that you can save time instead of doing something again and again, but doing it at one time and people know exactly where to go grab and get them.
All right, I'm going to talk about Skype and Skype in education just briefly here. And some of the benefits that I find with using Skype or Skype in education and in the classroom and as professional development is it breaks down the 4 walls that my students sit in and that I sit in on a daily basis. And it allows me to connect with others and collaborate. And for a long time in our particular district, Google Hangout was blocked and we weren't able to use Google Hangout. So Skype was my only connection to a lot of these folks here when we were doing projects and things like that. And what a great way to learn, but to have colleagues teach you many, many things from their classroom right to yours. So that was one of my favorite things about Skype. I mostly got involved in Skype when I started chatting with the 4th Chat folks, and I was very nervous at that time to kind of open up my classroom and let people in. But these friends here that are sitting with me here today really showed me the power of Skype and allowed me to learn with them. So it was amazing. Once you get on Skype, if you have a Skype account, I encourage you to make connections and use them over and over again because that's a great way to keep the learning going amongst yourself and also the students. So for me, once I made the connections on Skype, when I wanted to do a mystery Skype or a location call, I could just go right back to the same people, year after year and ask them if they would want to connect again, and we would always learn something new or expand what we had done. Another great way for professional development is to bring authors or people who can't necessarily get into your building directly in through Skype. And for us, Jen at one time tweeted out that she was going to have this lady from Antarctica call her classroom and talk about penguins. And I said, oh, that sounds interesting. And so we did the exact same thing, and it was another great learning opportunity for my students, but also for myself, as Jean Pennycook Skyped right from the rookery in Antarctica, and it was an incredible learning experience for everyone, not only in my school, but also for myself, as we kind of experimented with Skype, and we weren't sure if it was going to work, but she asked if she could call us back about 10 minutes later, and she walked down and she was sitting with the penguins from her tent, so it was an amazing experience. I think it helps bring relevant professional development, not only for myself, but also for my colleagues. And it allows us to connect with folks who may not be able, like I said, to get into the class or get into our school or our district. So it can cut down on costs. You can, Skype is a free tool, and you can easily have people come into the classroom that way. There's also Skype in Education. You're allowed to go on there and find projects and find people to connect with, and I would highly recommend that. And they have a variety of topics and a variety of lots and lots of people who are willing to talk with you and you can learn from. So that's kind of my experience with Skype and how I've used it for professional development purposes and also to bring it into my school. So.
Hi, I'm Nancy Carroll, and I'm from Massachusetts, and my daughter would tell you that all I prefer to do is tweet and blog and clean. I know, and it's true, maybe not the cleaning part. I I went back to school in 2010 to get my master's degree in assistive technology, and at that time I had a course, and the professor, Karen Janowski, introduced me to blogging and tweeting, and I didn't do a whole lot with it right away. And what happened was one of my other students, Cheryl Farley, who happens to be here in the audience today, said, "Hey Nancy, there's a EduBlogs teacher challenge about creating a blog." I had started a blog, but I didn't do a whole lot with it. And so I said, "Oh, I'm afraid to take that challenge. I don't know if I can commit to that." It was walking us through the process of creating a blog and adding different things. And so I decided I would take that challenge, and it led to other things. Before that, because I didn't really know anything about blogs and the word blog scared me, I eventually found that I could just read professional blogs. So I'm a reader. I love print. I love digital print. And so I would go on and find blogs to follow. Mostly it was around the topics of fourth grade curriculum or fourth grade resources. Later on, I discovered that there were all different ways to find blogs to follow, because in the beginning I was all over the place and wasn't sure what to do. Jerry has a page on his, of course, another page, and it's loaded with blogs. I believe that are they arranged in alphabetical order or by alphabetical order? This Teach 100. Oh, I'm sorry, I get cut off on my own here. Teach 100 has a list of blogs. They go through this certain criteria and however you get rated. That's not the important piece. The important piece is you can go on, scroll down the list, find somebody that might have something interesting for you to read and follow. The benefits I feel of reading these professional blogs is that you can find ones based on your own personal interests and your passions. It's self-selecting. Nobody's directing you there, you're doing that on your own. What happens is you'll find that it might connect you with others. You might find that you're going back and forth through certain people's blogs and leaving comments which will inspire the conversation to go further. Reading these blogs, they provide you with unlimited resources. There are even blog posts on sites like Edutopia, EdWeek, and they have blogs just by regular teachers and other people that just sharing their opinions. It's not necessarily anything that's, it's not all, what do I want to say? It's not all people who are scientific or, yeah, they're just regular people is what I'm trying to say, I think. So, and the one thing about reading these blogs is it's keeping you relevant. So you're finding information that is going on right now. So a lot of things are going on about the makerspace, and so if that's what you're interested in, that's what's out there now, and it's very easy to find information on that. I love blogs because they can be interactive or not. I would tell you that I am the shy, outgoing type of person, and it's perfect for people like me. So if you want to be the shy, outgoing type of person, if you're shy, you can just read the blogs. If you want to be outgoing, then you can interact by leaving a comment. And oftentimes the commenter, whoever's blog it is, will comment back to you. And it extends the conversation, which extends your professional development. You'll find new resources, find different paths to follow. I find that blogging will help you reflect on your own personal experiences in education. And that's how I ended up with that EduBlog challenge, and I started with my own blog, and it was about what I was doing in the classroom. And soon people started following. I don't have a big mass of followers, but that's not important to me. But there's enough people following and leaving comments. Friends, family, people I don't even know from all over the world are leaving comments. I use Blogger, but there's EduBlogs, which I can't even remember the last count of how many education blogs there are. You could even start your own blog on KidBlog if you felt compelled that you didn't want to be way out there. KidBlog is a great blogging tool for students, but you could use it yourself. I have my students using KidBlogs as well, and I'll talk about that after. But how can you get connected is to follow, find some blogs to follow using those other pages, spend some time reading. I set aside, of course, at like 10:30 at night when everybody's in bed and the cleaning is all done and the tweeting is almost all done. And I take time, 20 minutes, to find the blogs that I like to follow, go over them, and I start grabbing up my resources. So, now I'm off my train of thought with starting your own. I did want to mention that EduBlogs still, if you wanted to start your own, which it can be a little frightening at first, EduBlogs has the teacher challenge on their site, and I linked that to our Google site, which we'll share at the end. And I highly recommend that if you're somebody that likes to reflect on what you do in the classroom, or administrators, great time to have a blog about your school. But it allows you to reflect, and I also feel like you have to mention what doesn't work for you, and because others learn from what didn't work as well as what did work. Setting aside time helps. Next slide, I think.
There you go.
And so if you wanted to have